IMU's true body will personally go to ELBAF to fight Luffy and Loki. This alone is a huge development, because until now, IMU has always acted from the shadows, never directly stepping onto a battlefield. So this suggests that the situation in ELBAF has reached a level where even IMU can no longer ignore it. So the spoilers for the upcoming chapter 1178 have been released, and the title of this upcoming chapter is said to be, "It Was a Nightmare." This title itself could hint that what we are about to see is something terrifying, possibly related to IMU's true power or a past event repeating itself. So the first information in the spoilers says that because of the defeat of Usopp and Brook in the last chapter, Luffy took their bodies and brought them to Sanji's group. This also shows Luffy's growth as a captain, prioritizing the safety of his crew even in the middle of chaos. And here, Loki suddenly attacked IMU, but IMU easily avoided it. This further proves that IMU's observation and reaction speed are on another level, possibly even surpassing advanced observation Haki users. So it was a good decision by Luffy to move the bodies of Usopp and Brook away, because we already know that this fight between Luffy and IMU will be bloody, and those two might get caught in it. Especially considering IMU's abilities seem to affect not just individuals but entire areas. As for Loki's attack, it's not surprising that IMU easily dodged it, because Loki has a very large physical body. It's already given that he would be slower in movement. But at the same time, giants are known for their immense durability and strength, so one clean hit from Loki could still be devastating. So if this fight continues, I believe that at some point Loki will transform into his hybrid form. Yes, this is the form that we saw defeat King Harold. That moment already proved that Loki's power is not just raw strength but something far more dangerous. I'm really excited to see what Loki's hybrid form will look like, because in that form, he will surely be faster and stronger, and possibly gain new abilities related to his devil fruit, especially if it is connected to mythical or ancient powers like Nidhogg. Anyway, in the next information, it is said that Luffy has also joined the fight against IMU and Loki. This is where things truly escalate, because now it's no longer just a clash, it's a battle between top-tier entities. It is said that IMU suddenly transformed, similar to his transformation during the God Valley incident. This is very important, because God Valley is one of the most mysterious events in history, and connecting IMU directly to it confirms that he has been active and powerful even back then. I guess what is being referred to here is when his body rose from the body of Gorosei Saturn. This could imply that IMU does not have a fixed physical body and instead uses vessels, which would explain his near immortality. Most likely, we will see the same kind of form this time, but now with Gunko. This might also confirm that the Gorosei are not independent beings, but extensions or tools of IMU, so it is said that IMU managed to stab both Luffy and Loki. Yes, similar to what he did to Rocksteady Zebek during God Valley. This parallel is very important because it shows that IMU is repeating the same technique on the strongest enemies of each era, and just like in that moment where he used Domi Reverse on Zebek, he also used Domi Reverse on Luffy and Loki, but surprisingly, it is said that Dome Reverse did not work on Luffy and Loki. Now the question is why? Why did Domi Reverse not work on them? The answer in my mind is because of devil fruits. So far in the story, we have only seen Domi Reverse twice. First was during the God Valley incident, where Zebek was the victim. And the second was in ELBAF Park, where the giants became the victims. The common denominator between the two is that neither of them had devil fruits. Zebek and the giants did not have devil fruits, while Luffy and Loki both have devil fruits, but I don't think devil fruits alone are the full answer. It could be that they have God-type devil fruits, which is why they are immune to Domi Reverse. This would place them in a completely different category compared to normal devil fruit users. We already know that Luffy's devil fruit is the sun god Nika, and Loki's is Nidhogg. Both are deeply tied to mythology, which suggests that their powers might operate on a different level compared to regular fruits. It is possible that the four gods mentioned during the Skypiea arc include the devil fruits of Luffy and Loki. That arc has always been filled with hidden lore, and this might be one of the biggest payoffs. In short, only 4 devil fruits might be immune to Domi Reverse. And these are the 4 gods that were turned into devil fruits mentioned during the Skypiea arc. This could mean that these fruits are the true counters to IMU's abilities. If this turns out to be true, then it makes us wonder if this is the reason why Dragon is so fearless in fighting the world government. He has no fear of Imu-sama because maybe his devil fruit is also immune to Domi Reverse, or perhaps he knows the secret behind these god fruits. Moving on to the next information, it is said that Luffy attacked Imu using Gatling. This shows that even against a mysterious enemy like Imu, Luffy still relies on his signature fighting style. Meanwhile, Loki in human form used Ragnar and managed to freeze Gunko or Imu-sama. This suggests that Loki's abilities may include elemental control, possibly ice, or something related to ancient giant powers. Then suddenly, Imu's body disappeared from the ice, and everything in ELBAF returned to normal. This again hints that Imu might not have a permanent body, or he can simply discard vessels at will. Yes, when I first read this information, I had the same thought as you. Why does it feel like Imu was defeated so quickly? I'm sure there is still more to happen later on, because would Imu really accept being defeated this way? Especially someone who has ruled from the shadows for centuries. I believe Oda still has a big twist prepared, possibly revealing Imu's true form, or even a deeper connection to the Void Century. In the next information, the scene shifts to Saul and Robin. They went to the Owl Library, but they were shocked to find that the books were gone, and the owl named Biblo was also missing, so I suspect that when the owl library started burning, Biblo shrank the books and brought them to a safe place. This would make sense if Biblo has some kind of ability related to size manipulation, which is not uncommon in this world. This also ensures that the knowledge of ELBAF is not lost, which could be crucial for uncovering the truth of history. Now moving to Zoro's group. It is said that they are close to defeating the giants affected by Domi Reverse, but suddenly Chopper arrived and started finishing off the remaining enemies. Yes, it is said that Chopper was smashing the Domi Reverse giants. This could hint at a new level of strength or control over his transformations. In the next information, we get an update on Summers. He is currently recovering, and it is also shown that there is a possibility that Summers does not have a human heart, so unlike those affected by Domi Reverse, the Holy Knights were explained in past chapters to have contracts with Imu-sama. Meaning, it is possible that the price of the contract with Imu is their own heart. This is a very dark concept, suggesting that the Holy Knights are not truly free beings, but are bound to Imu completely. We can connect this to Imu in chapter 1171. If you remember, when King Harold, who had a contract with Imu, was dying, we saw that Imu seemed to feel pain. This could mean that Imu is directly linked to their lives, almost like a shared existence. He also didn't want to send another Holy Knight to ELBAF because they might just die again, which he would have to pay for, meaning, it is possible that when the Gorosei said that only 13 people have contracts with Imu, it could mean that Imu has 13 lives, 13 hearts from the Holy Knights he has made contracts with. This could explain how Imu has survived for so long, but that's just an idea. In the next information, it is said that Luffy returned to an old form because he was extremely drained from using Gear 5. This has been a consistent drawback, showing that even his strongest form has limits, and in the final part of the spoilers, it is said that the scene suddenly shifts to Mary Geos, where Imu informs the Gorosei that he will temporarily leave Pangaea Castle. This is huge, because it confirms that Imu is finally stepping out personally, something that has never happened before. What this information points to for me is that Imu will leave Mary Geos to personally go to ELBAF and face Luffy and Loki directly. The upcoming events are even more exciting because finally, Imu is getting serious. Finally, he is facing opponents worthy of him, and those are Luffy and Loki. Anyway, that's our short spoiler review for the upcoming chapter 1178, and I hope you enjoyed it. So that's it for today.